He starts walking around the interview room, and then he starts going, and then he walks around, and then he does it again.
Most people have had wild thoughts cross their mind at least once, right? Like when someone cuts you off in traffic, and for a split second, you imagine dragging them out the car. Or when somebody keeps trolling you online and you feel like swinging through the screen. But in real life, people check themselves, stay calm, and keep it moving. That control clearly wasn't there for Davion Murphy, one of 5 individuals charged in connection with a rapper's killing after allegedly stalking, tracking, carrying out the act, and then bragging about it like it was nothing.
Pull me up, tell him, put him on me, police ass jit, tell him, I'm ready to bait.
Davion Murphy.
So get that, well on me, bummy.
Davion Murphy.
Oh my God.
I'm in your hood right now.
I'm gonna make you crash out.
Out
I'm gonna make you crash out.
I've been in the shadows, man. I ain't
I'm gonna make you crash out, Davion
I'ma
Murphy.
fold you, boy. That's on spaz, boy. I'ma fold you, boy.
This situation has been called one of the messiest incidents tied to Jacksonville's drill scene, not just because of what happened, but because of the shocking amount of evidence that was reportedly left behind. It wasn't just the evidence stacking up, it was Davion's own words that really made things worse. Sitting in that interrogation room, he reportedly walked officers through the scene, reenacting the shooting, showing clear anger, and laying out exactly why he decided to crash out the way he did. He was actually the last one picked up staying on the run for 6 months straight. And when they finally caught up to him, he was seen smiling in those final moments of freedom, like none of it was catching up yet. That short walk, barely half a minute, must have felt completely different in his head, because deep down, he had to know everything was about to change for good. Or maybe not, because even while he was free, he was allegedly still online going at his rivals, acting reckless like nothing could touch him.
For sure. Hey, I got a piss too, though. I can piss in the cup. And I'm trying my hardest, so close to falling.
And then there's that moment captured on camera. Most people, when things get serious, start fixing themselves up, trying to look right. But he's standing there grinning, completely unbothered, not even trying to adjust or compose himself. That kind of attitude says a lot, walking into that room like none of it really hit him yet. Multiple clips started going viral, and it quickly became clear. Davion just couldn't keep quiet. He was already talking before detectives even asked a single question, which is exactly what investigators want to see.
It is in my heart, it's on my face. Getting kind of hard to hide my pain. Last night I had a dream. The day finally came, but he stopped saying my motherfucking name. At least I bust that bitch.
But the whole vibe shifted the second they stepped into the room, because Davion suddenly started making some wild claims that didn't quite add up. And it really makes you wonder, why do people do this? Why sit there and spin a whole story to people whose entire job is to break down lies, cross-check facts, and lock in the truth? These aren't random listeners. They already come in with information, and they're just waiting to see if your story matches up. Detectives didn't let it slide either. They quickly pressed him on his claims, especially when he said he only heard about Julio's death through Duval Promo's Instagram page. They made it clear this wasn't something small. This was a serious case with major consequences, and they weren't buying what he was trying to sell. Now, when people compare how Duval County handles cases like this versus Hillsborough County, there's actually some truth there. Tampa just doesn't deal with the same level of violence that Jacksonville does. Jacksonville is the largest city in Florida and has one of the highest murder rates in the state. Tampa isn't operating on that same level, so when something this bold happens there, authorities are going all in and applying serious pressure.
My face passed all over the news. Yeah. How you doing? Man, bro, I need some turn on myself in. Y'all gotta do y'all job. Y'all did y'all job, dude. Congratulations.
Question.
Even with all that, Davion kept standing firm on his claims. saying he had nothing to do with the killing. At the same time, he was hoping the jury wouldn't come in with a biased view, especially when it comes to seeing Foolio strictly as a victim in the situation. Davion started laying out emotional claims, saying his grandmother passed from a heart attack tied to the stress of Foolio's music, and that Corbin's mother couldn't even step outside without constant reminders. He also brought up a relative who was kidnapped and later found deceased, along with allegations that his cousin's grave had been disrespected. Without even realizing it, he was unloading deep anger toward Foolio, practically handing detectives a clear picture of motive. About an hour and a half into that interrogation, things took an even more intense turn. Davion reportedly began reenacting how the incident happened, acting it out step by step, not realizing that separate footage, like a Tesla camera recording, could later be brought up in court.
After Foolio gets killed ultimately in Tampa, did you hear about that at all when you were at the Airbnb? Was anyone talking about it? No, okay.
I wasn't even thinking nothing of it. I woke up that morning, before I even took off the Tampa, I woke up that morning, and before I called my dog, I always check my social media. I don't know, it's just like a habit, bro. See who wrote me and all that shit. I seen that shit come across Instagram.
That combination of recorded evidence and his own actions in the room painted a heavy picture. And if that wasn't enough, when it came time for court, his cousin Rashad stood there with a blank, emotionless expression that only added to the tension surrounding the entire case. While Davion is seen laughing and acting unbothered, even with the possibility of a death sentence hanging over him, the contrast couldn't be more intense.
But they didn't say nothing about the location and where it was at, no nothing. They just said Jacksonville rapper dead. So, you know, I ain't gonna, you know, man, come on, man. Like, God bless the dead of my people, man, you feel me? Nigga ain't gonna sit there like his love was out, it's fucked off, you feel me? And nigga, I can't say I didn't rejoice and I was happy. Yeah. But you feel me? It's like, yeah, it was that. Like,
so
shit, he dead. Oh, shit, he dead. They done caught him. Oh, shit.
Now imagine being in Rashad's position for a second. You're sitting there thinking about everything you're about to lose, your future, your freedom, all the moments you'll never get back. Life keeps moving, and you're stuck facing the consequences, while the person next to you is smiling like none of it matters. That kind of situation would have anyone feeling like it's already over. You can read it all over Rashad's face too. He hears his cousin talking, sees the attitude, and it's like reality is hitting him all at once. They're finished. No way around it. Meanwhile, Davion comes off almost content, like he's already accepted how things play out, believing he might just spend the rest of his life behind bars in Florida. But if the harshest sentence comes down, that path looks very different. It would mean isolation, years of appeals, and a long wait leading up to a final date that changes everything. And through all of this, Julio's legacy remains complicated. His story is tied to conflict and controversy, and while his life ended in tragedy, his music continues to carry his name forward. At the end of it all, Davion isn't being remembered for anything positive, just a reckless decision that flipped his entire life upside down. He's 27 years old, and when you really think about it, what else is there to point to? No business moves, no music, no major accomplishments, just ties to street activity in Jacksonville. And that alone shaped how his name is being talked about now. In certain environments, people call it putting in work when someone hurts another person or carries out violent acts. That mindset gets normalized, even celebrated in some circles, which only pushes things further in the wrong direction. And from that perspective, everything that happened led him exactly to where he is now, facing serious consequences with no way to undo it.
You heard about it on social media?
Yeah, I seen it on Instagram.
There was no conversation of it at the Airbnb? Okay.
Duval Promo posted that shit earlier that morning.
It was all over YouTube and everything.
Yeah, Duval Promo posted that bit earlier that morning. And I think actually, after I seen on Duval Promo, my mama sent it to me. From the same picture I seen on Instagram, my mama sent it to me to my phone. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, I already seen it. She's like, I can't believe it. Oh my God, I just pray for his family. I'm like, Mom, I don't give a fuck about that nigga's family.
Reports say they made that long drive from Jacksonville down to Tampa, carrying out the attack, and then heading back like it was just another trip. What stands out even more is what was mentioned in documents, that Davion was listening to Foolio's music on the drive back. Hearing those lyrics after everything that happened must have hit completely different. turning all that built-up anger into something else entirely. He even sent messages saying things about getting drunk off blood, just disturbing stuff that raised even more eyebrows. It all paints a picture of someone who kept pushing things further and further, and now he's facing the harshest consequences possible. Every move led him here, a potential death sentence, or spending the rest of his life locked away with no freedom at all. That reality isn't abstract. It's day-to-day survival, limited choices, and the same routine over and over again. That's what everything added up to in the end.
I used to work in Jacksonville's homicide unit. I don't anymore. I work in a different unit. And I can assure you, the story you gave it sucks, right? I explained to you why. I'm not bluffing you. I swear on my mother that all of that's true that I told. I wanted to give you one last opportunity to share maybe another story that you'd like to share with us. But if you want to say that, that's fine.
For anyone watching this, you don't have to live that kind of life to understand where it leads. One life lost, another potentially gone in a different way, either behind walls forever or facing the ultimate penalty. That's the outcome. No shortcuts, no rewrites. And when someone actually steps into a real high-security prison environment, it hits different. Not a temporary holding spot or a short-term program, but a serious facility with the highest custody levels in Florida. Being surrounded by people serving life sentences, people convicted of extreme crimes, and individuals facing decades behind bars, that environment changes your perspective fast, whether you're ready for it or not. And that's when it really hits. You realize this is the end of the road. There's no next chapter waiting, no reset button, just time passing and consequences settling in. The only way out is finishing your sentence or facing the end of your life, and that reality sits heavy every single day. Even if someone has a release date, it can feel like it's a lifetime away. Meanwhile, there are people in there looking at dates decades down the line, 2040s, 2050s, even further. And some don't have a real date at all, just numbers that basically mean they're never getting out. That becomes the reality, day in and day out.
You realize the seriousness of it's a death penalty case.
For sure, I understand.
So I get it. You said you've been here.
But you want me to tell you why I ain't worried about. Look who we talking about. Look who we talking about.
But here's the thing.
Talking about.
This perspective goes back years too, from time actually spent inside, seeing it firsthand, watching how long people are stuck, how time moves differently in there. It changes how you think about every decision. And for anyone paying attention now, there's a bigger message in all of this. People have been reaching out, asking questions, wanting guidance, trying to figure out a better path. You don't have to follow the same route or chase the same things. Instead of throwing money at expensive clothes or status items, think about putting that same energy into something that builds you up. Learn a skill, pick up knowledge, invest in something that can actually move your life forward. That choice alone can shift everything if you stay consistent with it. Find a real hustle, or risk ending up stuck in a cycle that doesn't go anywhere. Because if things don't end in tragedy or prison, a lot of people from those environments still end up struggling years later with nothing solid to show for it. Look at parts of the drill scene. If someone doesn't make it big, which is rare, many end up in their 30s still trying to figure things out with no real stability. No steady income, no long-term plan, just getting by however they can. You'll see situations where someone is depending on others to survive, while trying to keep up an image like everything is good, spending money to look successful instead of actually building something real. It turns into a cycle of appearances over progress, and that gap only gets wider over time. That kind of lifestyle might look appealing on the surface, but it comes with stress, instability, and constant pressure to maintain an image. In reality, it's not a path that leads to anything solid, and deep down, most people already know they want something better than that. And that's the part people don't like to talk about. It's easy to get caught up in the image, the fast life, the attention.
Here's the thing is, y'all are used to Duval County stuff and the way that Duval County and this judicial circuit operates. Hillsborough County is another beast. They don't handle violent crime like we do. You know what I mean? Granted, our numbers are way down this year. Praise the Lord. We don't need violence in the city. We like to make this a safe place and a good vacation spot. But
nobody shows you what comes after. when everything slows down. Because at some point, reality steps in whether you're ready or not. The same choices that felt exciting in the moment start catching up, and suddenly you're dealing with consequences that don't go away overnight. Meanwhile, the people who moved different, who stayed focused and built something step by step, they're the ones actually living stress-free. No looking over their shoulder, no fake image to protect, just real progress and real stability. That gap only gets bigger with time. One path leads to pressure, problems, and limited options, while the other opens doors, builds freedom, and gives you control over your own life. At the end of the day, it all comes down to decisions. Small moves every day stack up, and before you know it, you're either stuck dealing with the fallout, or you're living with the benefits of doing things the right way. And by the time most people finally understand that, it's already too late to rewind anything. Those years are gone. Those days are gone. And all that's left is whatever situation you built for yourself.
Hillsborough, they don't know what it's like to have 150 homicides in a year. You know what I mean? It's like,
I thought
it becomes mute to us, where down there they're like, holy crap. What? Like, I'm being dead honest with you. I talked to them, the attorneys and stuff there, and they're trying like 4 different death penalty cases this year. And it's like, what? This is the first one. I've been on law enforcement for 8.5 years, and this is the first one I've ever even been a part of or like seen.
Because nobody tells you how fast time really moves until you look up and realize everything changed. 1 minute, it feels like you've got endless time, and the next you're dealing with consequences that don't care how you feel about them. That's why the choices you make early on matter way more than people think. Every decision stacks, whether it's good or bad, and eventually it all shows up in your reality. Some people wake up with options, freedom, and peace of mind. Others wake up stuck, stressed, and trying to figure out how everything went left. And the wild part is, it usually comes down to simple decisions repeated over and over again. What you spend your time on, what you invest in, and who you surround yourself with. That's what builds your outcome, whether you notice it in the moment or not. And the truth is, nobody is coming to save you from those choices. There's no shortcut, no last-minute escape plan that fixes everything once it all catches up.
I ain't had nothing to do with that, and I'm finna get judged for it. They can put that in the light. Look who we talking about. And I hope it don't be a biased thing. I hope it don't be a biased thing, because it's nothing on me.
What would be the bias?
It's the biased thing. The biased thing is treating him like a victim, like his mama.
Like Charles.
Treating him like a victim, like his mama doing over the internet. Like,
People like to blame the system, blame their environment, blame other people, but at some point, it comes down to what you decide to do with what you've got. That's the part that really separates outcomes, because 2 people can start in the same place, see the same things, and still end up in completely different situations just based on their decisions. One leans into the chaos, the other finds a way to move smarter and build something real. And over time, that difference gets loud. One life fills up with consequences, stress, and limits, while the other starts opening doors, creating options, and building stability. It might not feel exciting in the moment, it might even feel slow, but that steady path is what actually leads somewhere. And once you see both sides play out, it becomes real clear. Every move counts, whether you realize it right away or not. And once everything plays out, there's no spinning the story or dressing it up. It is what it is. The results speak loud, and they don't care about excuses or intentions. What started as quick decisions, emotions, and chasing a certain image can end up shaping an entire life in ways nobody expects at the beginning. That's how fast things can flip when there's no long-term thinking involved. Meanwhile, the people who stayed patient, who kept things low-key and focused on growth, they're the ones who end up with real control over their future. No chaos, no constant pressure, just stability and options that actually mean something. It's not about being perfect either. It's about being aware of where your choices are leading, because every step pushes you closer to something, whether it's progress or problems. And when you look at how these situations unfold, it becomes obvious. Every decision carries weight, and once those consequences lock in, there's no easy way around them. And when everything settles, all that's left is the outcome you built step by step. No hype, no noise, just reality staring right back at you. Some people end up with freedom, options, and a life they can actually enjoy.
my auntie, God bless her dead, is Rod Adams. My auntie was depressed, dead red. My grandma died behind that. My grandma caught a heart attack behind the songs that he was making.
Because he was always
My
disciplined.
Corbin mama couldn't walk out of the house without seeing somebody in the public. You know how they do TikToks anywhere. Where's Corbin?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, you gotta feel like somebody pissed on my cousin's grave.
Others are stuck dealing with consequences that don't pause, don't fade, and don't give second chances. What's crazy is how small choices can stack into something this big. A decision here, a reaction there, and before you know it, the path is locked in. That's why moving smart matters more than moving fast. Anybody can chase a quick moment, but not everybody is thinking about where it leads long term. Because in the end, it's not about what looked good for a moment. It's about what actually holds up over time. That's what separates a temporary image from a real life built on something solid. And once you really see that difference, it hits different. Every move starts to matter more and the direction you're heading becomes a whole lot clearer. You can really make serious money off social media alone. And the crazy part is, you don't even have to show your face to do it.
Like, you gotta feel that. You gotta feel like when we talked about, I just prayed it wasn't biased. I just prayed it don't be biased. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm gonna remain my innocence, man. Whatever happened at the end of this, man, all goes to Allah, you feel me? Like, to Allah came from, Allah returned, you feel me? So it's like, I just pray they don't be biased. Don't be biased. Like,
Talking about the jury?
Yeah.
There are people out here building whole incomes just off content, strategy, and consistency. No spotlight needed. So pay close attention to what's being said here, because this information can actually shift how you move. If you're trying to learn, level up, or tap into something different, reach out and stay active. If enough people keep asking about that Discord, it can get built and turned into a space where real game gets shared. Now, I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Davion is finished, or does he still have a chance to fight this? Some people already made up their minds. Others are still watching how it plays out. Either way, don't just watch and scroll. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and jump in the comments to be part of the conversation.